What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Team Fish Knuckles YouTube channel. Today is Arkansas State's round number 6. Whoever wins this round will make it into cut. Both these players had to play. Neither one could ID, but whoever won made it into cut. So let's see what happened. And on the left, we have Chris Lane. We've already featured him for round number 1 when he played against Brad Kershaw with his Greninja break deck. So he has made it all the way to round number 6. If he wins this round, he does make it in. He is playing as Yveltal Zoroark break. He did have that crazy Zoroark break Greninja game where he used Shadow Stitching with Zoroark break to shut down Brad, which is pretty nice. But if you give me a second, we'll see the player on the right and see what they are playing. Oh, maybe make sure I show the energies. There's 6 and 4, and there is 2 muscle bands, or 3 muscle bands, sorry, for those who cannot see it. But give me a second, we'll see the player on the right and see what they're playing. Alright, on the right we have Manny playing his Vespiquen Vileplume deck. Once again, we saw Manny playing round number 5, so 2 games ago we saw him play against Jackson playing his Greninja break deck. So now it's going to be Vespiquen Vileplume versus Yveltal Zoroark. And let's see who's going to win. Whoever wins makes it into the top cut. And I'm pretty sure that when Manny played, he lost. So can Manny make a redemption? I think Chris did tie as well. So both these players have not won on camera. But let's see who's going to win and who's going to advance to top 8 of this tournament. Yveltal or Vespiquen Vileplume with Toxicroak and Revitalizer, some Skyla, some techie stuff in his deck. But let's see what happens right now. Alright guys, here it goes. Arkansas State's round number 6. Like I said, on the left we have Chris, and on the right we have Manny. So we see Manny going to get the Love Ball, and can he get this turn 1 Vileplume online or not? So Love Ball going to get the Oddish down. Does he have Force of Giant Plants? Does he have a Gloom? There's a Force of Giant Plants. There's a Gloom. Ultra Ball. Going to discard an Ultra Ball and a Skyla. Maybe get into Shaman EX. Yep, gonna grab that Shabe. Gonna set up draw. He has 6 cards in his hand. Alrighty, and well, let's see what happens. Oh, looks like a judge is talking to him. I think they're just talking. I don't think anything else crazy is going on. We'll see a Shaman setting up for a 6. And like I said earlier, whoever wins this game makes it and advances to top 8. Alright, so you see Combi coming down. Let's see what else does Manny have. We see an Oddish Gloom coming down. We see a DC to Shaman set up for a 6. Alrighty, and let's see, can the party keep on going? There's a Vespiquen coming down. We see an Acrobite. Gonna look at the top 2 cards of his deck, and let's see what he decides to discard. Looks like he's gonna discard a Vespiquen. A Battle Presser comes down. Maybe discard some Oddishes, maybe some Glooms. He has both of those online, but we see a Combi, Vileplume, and an unknown being discarded. I definitely think you just want to discard like Oddishes and Glooms because you really don't really need those later on in the game. Alright, so I'm going to discard those 3 and let's see what else does Manny have. Going to discard, wait for it. Sycamore going to discard a Toxicroak, Lysander, or something else. I'm not sure what the other card was. But can he find a Vileplume or not? We see a Trainer Smell. Look at the top 4 cards of his deck. Or a Vitalizer, either one would get the Vileplume on turn number 1. And let's see what Manny decides to do. What's in his hand? That's the big question. And looks like he might not get anything. Maybe he's just debating on what to do. Wait for it. He needs to find a Vespiquen, not a Vespiquen, a Vileplume. But there's an Ultra Ball. This could get on a Vileplume for sure. Get Ultra Ball, discard 2 cards, an Acrobike, and a Love Ball being discarded. Getting the Vileplume online, but the question is, how many Pokemon are in Manny's discard pile? That's the big question. We see a Battle Presser, gonna discard more Pokemon out of his deck. There's a Gloom, and then maybe a Oddish, if there's one in the deck. Yep, there's an Oddish, okay? So discarding those 3. And we'll probably just see a pass. Oh no, Vileplume come down, then a pass, most likely. So Vileplume come down and a pass on a Chris's turn. Let's see what happens. We see Professor Birch, and does Birch pay off? And it does. He risked it, and he got the biscuit, getting that hands on the Professor Birch. Gonna get 7 cards. Gonna shuffle his hand into the deck and get 7 cards instead of 4. That's why you play Professor Birch over Shauna, because, you know, you just gotta believe and you will achieve. But let's see, what does Chris get? He needs multiple Zoras. I think there's already one on his bench. And let's see, we see an Yveltal come down. We see a Reverse Valley bumping that Force of Giant Plants. Dark Energy to the active and a pass on to Manny's turn. We see a Force of Giant Plants coming down, bumping that Reverse Valley. And Manny might just Sky Return, promote the Gloom, letting it knocked out. It doesn't seem like that big of a deal letting your Gloom get knocked out. You don't really care about it. Or he could Sky Return for another Shaman, because Yveltal really can't knock out a Shaman. So we see a Shaman being promoted, we see an Yveltal coming down, we see a Dark Energy to the active, and we might see an Evo for 20-40-60. And yep, we'll see a 60 on a Manny's turn. Now I think if he Sky Returns, he needs to promote a Gloom for sure, so the DC to the active. Sky Return, gonna promote the Shaman one more time, and we'll see a White Cyclone for 90, alright. Now on a Manny's turn, we might see another Sky Return for 30. Looks like he was going to go for the Shaman loop early. Keep doing constant 30s until he hits like a Sycamore or something. Was he a Shaman? Sky Return for 30. Gonna promote the other Shaman. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, was he retreat? Okay, so Yveltal EX retreats into Baby Yveltal. And we'll see a Blue Wing doing 30, putting the energy onto Zoroark. I think Zoroark is definitely your best attacker in this game, because Manny is definitely going to fill his bench up with Shamans, the Vileplumes, the Combies, the Vespiquens. So he can do a lot of damage. We see another Sky Return for 30. Another Crystal, we see another Birch, and no, Birch gives him tails this time, only get 4. Oh no, that's not good. But hopefully it's a good, maybe it's a good 4 cards, and Birch still pays off in the end. 1, 2, 3, and 4. There's another Zoroark coming down, a Reverse Valley, get rid of that Force of Giant Plants, and you'll see another Blue Wing for 30. And on a Manny's turn, let's see, 40 because Reverse Valley is out, I'm sorry. But another Force of Giant Plants comes down, and another Sky Return for 30 from Manny. Looks like he's going to put the Shaman. It looks like he's going to let Chris be the aggressive one, taking a knockout first on a Shaman. We see another Reverse Valley coming down, alright. And we might see a stand-in. He'll do 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12. I'm like 99% sure this is going to knock out the Shaman. 3, 6, 9, 10, 11. Oh, it does 110, sorry. Yeah, Reverse Valley 110 exactly. Because 10 plus 30 for each bench Pokemon, which is 100. Then plus the 10 more damage for Reverse Valley is a knockout. So here goes Zoroark Break. It does have a lot of HP. Can the Vespiquen take a knockout or not is the big question. Manny doesn't have another Combi or Vespiquen aligned, and if he loses his Vespiquen, that's pretty much his only attacker he has. So he might have to retreat into the Gloom, let the Gloom get it knocked out, and then maybe tackle Vespiquen to take a knockout on the Zoroark Break. So let's see what he decides to do. What will Manny do? Will he retreat or attack with the Vespiquen? He's going to look through Chris's discard pile, see what's all in there. Alright, looks like he is satisfied. DC to the active. And we might see Beer Revenge. I don't think it's going to knock out the Zoroark. We'll find out here together. Looks like there's 6. 110 damage comes down, alright. And on the Chris turn, going to see a Sycamore discard his hand, draw 70 cards. That attack will do 3, 6, 7, 8. Oh, it actually is not a knockout right now. Dark Energy onto the Yveltal. Yeah, it's going to be 10 damage short, I am pretty sure. Unless he goes for Beer Revenge, but I don't think there's not enough Pokemon in the discard pile. So yeah, only 80 damage coming down, or yeah, 80, that should be 80. I think it's a 90 on there right now, but I'm pretty sure it should be at 80. Oh, there's a 2. Okay, yeah, it's a 2. So see a Beer Revenge. Going to knock out this Yveltal, or this Zoroark Break. And on the Chris turn, we might see a Blue Wing knocking out this Vespiquen. We see a Dark Energy onto that Zora. Maybe a DC, I really can't tell. And was that a heads off Birch? Come on, Birch. I hope that was a heads, buddy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, yeah, that was a heads. And he does get into the Zora as well. But we see a Blue Wing knocking out the Vespiquen. And on a Manny's turn, he could promote this Combi or the Gloom. If he promotes the Combi, he's like, yeah, I'm going to YOLO trying to get this Vespiquen DCE. But with the Gloom, it might be the more conservative play, saying, hey, I'll let you take a knockout on this Gloom, and I'll slowly build a Vespiquen on the bench. Now, remember, Manny only plays that one AZ to retreat his Pokemon. So, at any point, Chris could license that Vileplume, maybe win the game that way. But we see Combi coming to the active spot. Okay. And does he have a DC Vespiquen in his hand? Let's see. What does he have? There's a Vespiquen. Alright. We'll see the AZ come down, so Manny can't play his item cards as of right now. But after this, Chris can just license the Vileplume, and it'll be stuck in the active spot. Like I said, Manny only plays that one AZ, no Floatstones, and nothing crazy to get the Pokemon out of the active spot. But we'll see your Vitalizer getting back a I'm not sure what 2 grass Pokemon we saw, but we see an Acrobite going to discard a Sycamore. Okie dokie. We see a Kobe coming down, and Force of Giant Plants is discarded. I think there's at least 3 in the discard pile. It looks like there's 90 damage on that. There 99 Pokemon in the discard pile. We see a Trainer's Meld. Let's see what he decides to grab. He's going to see how many cards are left in his deck. I don't think he even plays Sycamore. I think he just loses if he plays Sycamore. We'll see an Ultra Ball. I don't think he can really play it. We see, okay, he discards a Gloom and an Oddish. Can he find it? It looks like he's not going to get anything. And we see a Trainer's Meld one more time. Look at the top 4 cards of his deck. I wonder what he's digging for. That's my question. He needs a DC, that's for sure, to attack this turn. And let's see what's going to happen. He does have the Vileplume in his hand. There's a DC, so he will take a knockout this turn. It looks like it's going to do 110 damage. We see the Vileplume coming down, and we'll see a knockout. But on a Chris turn, he can promote this Yveltal EX. He can use a Eva Ball or Y Cyclone. I think I'd go for an Eva Ball for sure. I'm going to attach Dark Energy to the bench, and we'll see a Y Cyclone. I don't know how much I like that, unless he already has an energy in his hand. We'll see a Vespiquen coming down, because this Vespiquen's not going to take a knockout. Manny only has like 5 cards left in his deck, maybe less than that. So if he plays a Sycamore, he pretty much just loses. So we're gonna see how much damage in there. I'm not sure how many damage counters are in there. I'm not sure how much this Vespiquen is swinging for, but we'll find out here in a second how much it does. Does Manny have a DC is the big question. Does he have a DCE? Looks like we see a Shave coming down. We might see a Sky Return. Just saying, hey, you can't. I don't want you to knock out only Vespiquen. We'll see a Shaman draw on 1, reverse volley coming down. We'll see a DC to the active, and is this a knockout or not? It looks like it's not going to be. And the question is, does Chris? Looks like 12, 13, 14, 15. Looks like he is too short off a knockout. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's gonna go fast here in a second. I'm not gonna see how many Pokemon. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Maybe 14 or 15. But yeah, that is not a knockout. 6, 12, 13, 14, 15. Looks like there must have been 13 in there, but there's a Dark Energy, so you will Eva Ball for the knockout. And the question is, how many Pokemon are left, or how many DCs are left in deck? And it looks like Manny is going to scoop this game, and they're going to go to game number 2. And who do you want to see win to advance into the top cut? Do you want to see Yveltal Zoroark, or do you want to see Vespiquen Vileplume? Chris had the perfect strategy. You want to get multiple Zoroarks on the bench and use the Mind Jack for the knockout. That is pretty much your best stack in this game. You really don't attack with Yveltal EX because you are giving up 2 prize cards to Manny's 1. But here we go. Round number 2, or game number 2. Who's going to win? I imagine Chris or Manny will go first and try to get this turn 1 Vileplume online to shut down everything. Okay. So we'll see what happens. Manny does get a mulligan draw, but he needs to put his prize cards out first. There we go. So his prize cards coming down. And let's see what happens. Can Manny get this turn 1 Vileplume? You really don't get Vespiquen Vileplume players any more cards than they need. And oh man, 2 mulligans. That's not good. Like, he gets 2 more cards than, you know, the 7. And just that's going to help him out a little bit more trying to get this Vileplume online. But we see Chris shuffling up, and let's see what happens. Who's going to take this game? And who do you want to win? Yveltal, Vespiquen, Vileplume. Like always, I want to root for Vespiquen, Vileplume. That is one of my favorite decks at this current moment. But we see a Zoroark start and nothing else that I see. And okay, a Fright Night Yveltal. Okay, so on to Manny's turn. Let's see what happens. Now, usually Fright Night Yveltal could be used to counter, you know, Vileplume, but Manny doesn't play any Flowstone, so Fright Night doesn't really do anything. We'll see a Feral Letter discarding the Unknown to draw a card. Manny does have a Battle Compressor, and if he does have a Forest, he could pull off the, you know, maybe a Revitalizer combo. We see an Oddish coming down, and we could see Battle Compressor discard 3 Oddishes to kind of discard them all. You know, saying you really don't need them anymore, you just want to discard them. But let's see what he decides to do. I do see a Battle Compressor, but I really can't see what else is in his hand. And looks like he's eyeballing 2 cards. And we're going to see Battle Compressor number 1. Let's see if 3 cards he's going to discard. Vespiquen. Okay. Alright, so maybe he's going to go for that Revitalizer plan I was talking about. So Vespiquen, Vileplume, and a Toxicroak. Toxicroak is pretty much just useless in this matchup. We see a Skyla. This could get out a Forest of Giant Plants to try to guarantee that turn. Or maybe an Ultra Ball to search for a Shebe if he wants to. Or maybe a Sycamore for the following turn. But nope, we're going to see an Ultra Ball coming down. We're going to see a Combi being discarded and a Gloom. Okay. We're going to grab a Shaman EX. And let's see what Manny decides to do. I mean, can he hit the Forest of Giant Plants and a Gloom and a Vileplume to get the turn 1 Vileplume online and get that irritating pollen? We see Combi coming down. We'll see a DC to the active. See Shebe drawn up to 6. And can he find it? There's a Forest Unknown Feral Letter going to draw a card. A Gloom coming down, and all he needs is his Vileplume. But I don't know if he wants to Vileplume online right now, because, you know, Manny's not really swinging for that much damage. There's an Ultra Ball discarding a AZ and the Lysander, so his only AZ is being discarded. So Chris could go for the Lysander Parade to bring up the Vileplume. But here goes the Vileplume coming on down. What's in Manny's other card? Shebe drawn 5 cards. I'm pretty sure 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And let's see what happens. An unknown farewell letter. Going to draw another card. Can Manny find a love ball to get out of a Vileplume? That's the big question. And let's see what's in his hand. Oh man, there's an Ultra Ball discarding an Oddish, and I wonder what the other card's going to be. And it looks like it's going to be another Vileplume. And what Manny could do is search for another Vileplume just while discarding the other Vileplume. Oh, Vespiquen coming online. Alright, maybe he already has the other Vileplume in his hand, and that's why he discarded the other Vileplume. And let's see, what is he going to do? Let's see, we'll see a Trainer's Mail. Look at the top 4 cards of his deck. We'll see a Sycamore. He's already played a Skyless, so he can't play Sycamore as of right now. We'll see a Revitalizer. Going to get a Vileplume and a Vespiquen. And wow, that was a pretty good turn. Alright, so and we'll see a pass on a Chris turn. Let's see what happens. A Dark Energy active, Reverse Valley coming down, bumping that Force of Giant Plains. Chris did have an Ultra Ball, but it's pretty much useless now. We'll see a Sycamore discard his hand, draw 7 new cards. It looks like there's 9 Pokemon in the discard pile, which will not be any knockout, only Yveltal, but Manny gets set up with 7 new cards. We'll see a Force of Giant Plants coming down, bumping that Reverse Valley. Looks like another Stadium Ward is going on. And we'll see a Beerridge for 110. But we see Chris scooping the game saying, hey, I can't get a Pokemon out. I guess I'm going to lose. Because he had no supporter card, no other Pokemon. He did have an Ultra Ball, but Manny did get that Turn 1 Vileplume. Alrighty, so that means Turn 1 Vileplume is just such a strong ability. We saw it there, not be able to play your Ultra Balls to get out your Pokemon. You can't use like Battle Pressure, then use a VS Secret combo to get it back out. So you're kind of just in a weird spot. Now, Chris could have easily played Ultra Ball to get out Shebe, but since he was item locked, this cannot be done. But we'll see what happens in game number 3. Who do you want to see win? Do you want to see Yveltal, Zoroark, or do you want to see Vespiquen, Vileplume? That's the big deal. Let's see who's going to take home, or not take it home, but let's see who makes it to the top 8 of Arkansas State's. Both players are shaking hands, and let's see what's going to happen. I imagine Chris will decide to go first to at least have 1 turn of playing item cards. And here we go. Both players are setting up, and let's see what happens. We see Manny start the Combi, which is his best person to start with. And we see Ultra Ball discarding a Dark and something else, getting out an Yveltal, which is fine. Okie dokie. And let's see, what else does he have? Looks like a Shaman drawing 3. He has a DC Dark Energy, and I don't see a supporter card. A DC to the active, a VS Seeker for a Birch. Oh, he discarded the Birch earlier. That's what the Ultra Ball was. The Ultra Ball discarded Dark and a Birch, then VS Seeker for the Birch. And let's see, did he flip a Tellus? I think he flipped a Tellus. Maybe only get 4 cards with his Birch. He risked it, but did not pay off. Only get 4. He did get a Trainer's Mail, and he did get a Sycamore. So in the end, Birch, like the champ, did help out. He did give him a Sycamore for our following turn. So there we go. Birch is still our best friend. And alright, we see a Puzzle Time. Gonna rearrange top 3 cards of his deck. Not really sure if it matters that much. But we see, yep, going to see Puzzle Time, rearrange top 3, and a pass on a Manny's turn. Let's see what happens. Can Manny get this turn 1 Vileplume online or not? He does have a DC in his hand that will be attached to the Combi. Alright. And I mean, if Manny can get this knockout, he can knock out Chris's only Zora on the field. We'll see a Trainer's Mail. Going to grab a Revitalizer. And if he has a Battle Compressor in his hand, he can Battle Compressor, then play Revitalizer, and then he'll just use the Force of Giant Plants to start going places. And we see he does have Battle Compressor in his hand, okay. So that is one thing is going for him. But does he have the Force? We see a Battle Compressor. Go ahead and discard 3 cards out of his deck. Triple Battle Compressor, so he can discard up to 3 to 9. He has to discard somewhere between there, but this see Unknown, Vespiquen, Oddish, Gloom, Vileplume. My goodness, this is crazy right now. Turn 1 triple Battle Compressor. That must be nice. Alright, so discarding those 5 so far. 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so Combi being discarded. We see a Toxicroak, Unknown, and an Unknown being discarded. So those 9 Pokemon are being discarded. Turn number 1. Wow, that is pretty crazy. That is, wow. Triple Battle Compressor, turn number 1. Alright, let's see what else does Manny have. Can he keep going on this hot streak to draw more cards? Let's see. Let's find out here in a second. What does Manny have? Does he have a Force? There's a Shaman drawing, I think, 4 cards at least. Alright, and let's see. Does he have the Force of Giant Plants? And can he get the turn 1 Vileplume or not? That's the big question. I do see a Revitalizer in his hand. I see it on the far right. So Revitalizer getting out Oddish and a Vespiquen. Alright, does he have Force? He does have Force. There's a Vespiquen coming down. A Gloom. And what else is in his hand? Wow, this is a pretty great turn one so far. And a Vileplume, and we will see a Be Revenge. Alright, it will knock out the Zora. It will knock it out for sure. Alright, Manny will go down to 5 prize cards on a Chris turn. He gets a Dark Energy. He can play Sycamore, discard his hand, draw 7 new cards. Can he find another Zora or not? There is one. There's two. Alright, and we see a Dark Energy attached to Zora. And we see a Blue Wing. Oh, we see a Shaman first of all, setting up for 6. And Chris does have the Dark Energy in the discard pile, so he can have Blue Wing to Zora and at least put 30 damage on this Vespiquen. And on to Manny's turn, let's see what happens. Manny needs to get down another Vespiquen because this one could be knocked out the following turn, leaving him in a weird spot where he doesn't have an attacker. So let's see what Manny decides to do. Can he find one or not? There's a Combi. We'll see Retreat, and we'll see a DCE. We might just see a Sky Return. Gonna save that Vespiquen. It's actually a cool kind of play. Gonna promote the Combi. And saying, hey, you can knock out my Combi, I really don't care. We see a Dark Energy, a Birch. Looks like it's a Tails. No, Birch, you let us down, buddy. Maybe we'll give him a Sycamore to help him out. That'll be fine. I'll be fine with that. But here we go. He's going to get 4 cards. And I saw a Trader's Mill, Puzzle Time, Dark Energy, and something else. And we might see a stand-in and a Mind Jack, but I don't think you really want to do that. I think you really just want to save your Zoroarks to knock out these Vespiquen. So I'm fine with just a Blivwing here doing 30. That's what we're going to see. 30 damage to that Combi. And on the Manny's turn, let's see what happens. Can he find a Vespiquen or not? And he needs to put more Pokemon in the discard pile. It might be enough to knock out right now, I think. But it can't knock out a fresh Yveltal. But we're going to see Manny look through the discard pile. And let's see what he decides to go for. Oh man! So both players are getting kind of setting up. I do see an AZ come down, and you might be kind of confused. Why did he AZ just pick up the just a Vileplume? Well, Forest of Giant Plants is down, so he could, Oddish Gloom automatically to get the Vespiquen out. And let's see what happens. All right, so gonna Ultra Ball, discard something else, and a Shaman. And let's see what Manny decides to do. DC to the active. Gonna put down the Shaman, drawing up to 6 cards. Okay. We see an Acrobite, look at the top 2 cards of his deck, and let's see what he decides to go for. Gonna get that, gonna discard the Vespiquen. He already has one in his hand, I'm pretty sure. Yep, gonna get the Vespiquen out, and we might see a Be Revenge. Both Vespiquens have the 30 HP on it, 30 damage on it, so it really doesn't matter who you attack with. It's kind of pick your own poison kind of thing. We see a Love Ball, gonna get out of Oddish, pretty much not useful at all right now. He's already got a Vespiquen line, or a Vileplume line, sorry. But there's a Vileplume. And we'll see a Be Revenge for the knockout on a Chris turn. He's going to promote that Shaman, but he does have the Zoroark with the stand-in, so he can't stand in. Mind Jack will take a knockout, but let's see if Chris has a Dark Energy on that Shaman. And we'll see a stand-in, and we'll see a Mind Jack for the knockout, going down to 5 prize cards, I think. But on the Manny's turn, he can Be Revenge, knock out the Zoroark. But Chris couldn't retaliate. Let's see, 3, 6, 7. Yeah, if Chris can find a Dark Energy and a Zoroark, he can take a knockout on this Vespiquen. So let's see what happens. We'll see a Sycamore, go discard his hand, draw 7 new cards. Can he find a Combi and a Vespiquen with another DCE, or will he retreat to the Shaman to let it get hit instead of the Vespiquen? Let's see what Manny decides to do. What will he do? And can I see a DC in his hand? But I don't see a Combi. I think there might be 2 Combis already in discard pile, so that play might actually be possible. But we see a Be Revenge for the knockout, and another Chris turn. He's going to promote that Shaman. And there's a Reverse Valley coming out, bumping that Forest of Giant Plants. A Dark Energy to the active. Oh man, I'm not sure. But we see a Sky Return for 30. Forest of Giant Plants coming down. Can Chris find a way to get out of Zoroark? That's the big question. If he does, I think he'll be A-okay. But as of right now, he does not have one in his hand. Let's see what Manny decides to do. We might just see a Be Revenge, knocking out, going down to 1 prize card. Let's see what Chris has. There's Zoroark, and there's a Dark Energy Shaman going to set up. And wow, okay, that was a great top deck. We'll see a Mind Jack for the knockout. And on to Manny's turn. Let's see what happens. Can he get another Vileplume, another Vespiquen online or not? I am not sure. I don't think so. We see a Shaman being promoted. And let's see what Manny decides to do. We'll see a Draw Forest turn. He could maybe go for a Shaman Sky Return loop, like keep doing constant 30s over and over again, saying, hey, you can't knock out my Shaman, I'm going to win that way. But then Chris could just license into the Vileplume, get stuck in the active, win that way. I don't know. What's Manny going to do? Has Manny played his AZ? That's my big question as well. I'm not sure if the AZ's in the discard pile. Because that license play might not work if the AZ's in the discard pile, but we'll see a pass from Manny. We'll see a Dark Energy to the Shebe, and we'll see a Mind Jack doing 40 damage on a Manny's turn. Let's see what he decides to do. He could just pass one more time, but I'm not really sure what that's going to get him. Manny's going to look to his discard pile, see what's on there. We'll see a pass. We'll see an Yveltal being put down. We'll see another Mind Jack 440. Okie dokie. On a Manny's turn, what does he have? Let's see what is going to happen. He needs to somehow get the Shaman out of the active spot. If he does not, this Shaman will fall, and Chris will go down to 2 prize cards, which is not good at all. But let's see what Manny decides to do. Can he find anything or not? That's the big question. Oddish coming down. As DC to the active, and we'll see a Sky Return for 30. Going to promote the Oddish, and it'll get hit by 40. It won't get knocked out. We'll see a Professor Sycamore discard his hand. There's a Reverse Valley, and this will knock it out. It will do 50 damage. I'm pretty sure Oddish does have 50. So we'll see a knockout. Chris will go down to 3 prize cards. Here goes Vespiquen, and let's see what happens on a Manny's turn. Oh, man. Things are getting kind of weird. Vespiquen is in the active. Vileplume is in the active spot, which is never good, especially without a Flowstone. And let's see what Manny decides to do. Looks like he's going to put down a Shaman. Okay. And let's see what else does he have. And just a pass? Yeah, pass on to Chris' turn. We'll see another Mind Jack 450. Okay. And does he have anything or not? Looks like I see another pass. Oh, my computer's glitching right now. Oh, computer, don't do this to me, buddy. Come on, make it through, buddy. And looks like we'll see another, see another pass from Chris. Looks like he's going to hit 450. Oh, man, and let's see. Oh, buddy, I'm not sure why my computer is glitching. I apologize for this. But let's see what happens. That volume, it does have 50 HP on it. And let's see what Chris decides to do. I'm not even sure his turn is right now. We see a DC to the Shaman and a pass on to Chris's turn. We will see a Mind Jack knock it out this Vileplume. But what can Chris do afterwards? I mean, man, I don't know. But we'll see what happens. We'll see a Sycamore going to discard his hand, draw 7 new cards. And let's see what happens. Chris will take a knockout. And there's a Zoroark break coming down as well. Alrighty. And let's see what's going to happen. We will see a Mind Jack for the knockout, most likely. He could even use, like, Vileplume's first attack to even knock it out as well. It could use, Foul Play to copy it. We'll see a Shame with the DC being promoted. And let's see, what does he have? There's a Love Ball getting out of Combi. Alrighty. And we see a Force of Giant Plants coming down. We see a Vespiquen coming online. We see a Sycamore discard his hand, draw 7 new cards. And there's the DC. He will retreat, and a Be Revenge knocks out the Zoroark break. That is pretty crazy. So we see Manny taking this game. He will advance to top 8 of this Arkansas State Championships. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. That was a pretty crazy finish. We thought, Chris pretty much had it. We thought he was going to have it, but Manny had the last DC in his deck, and he did have a Kobe and a Vespiquen ready to go. But hopefully you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Hope you have a great day. Alrighty. Bye.